In this video, we'll be breaking down gold, EURUSD, and GBPJPY, and I'll be showing you a few of my prop firm accounts and how far I've been. So if you're new here, please make sure to click the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications because I post content like this every Sunday. Now, if you're new here and you want to learn from the best of the best, this is my mentorship. It is running till the 25th. It is on special, guys. Make sure to click the link down in the description or follow my Instagram over here to make sure that you sort yourself out via there. But nonetheless, guys, please beware of scammers. It's getting a bit crazy now, especially since the community is growing. Road to 2,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you guys so much. But nonetheless, let's get into the video. Alright. So we'll start off with gold as usual. But I won't lie, guys, these past 2 weeks have been so crazy, especially with like gold and the volatility. So it's just making sure that we're waiting for the right opportunity to present itself. Right, I am down, especially on the funded. So that's just something that I'll be showing you at the end, guys, so you can see the equity curve and how I'm managing my risk. And I'm also gonna teach you something like hedging in this breakdown. So just make sure to watch till the end. Right, so starting off with gold, daily time frame, simple, clean cut finish. Like the only thing I can definitely say is we're moving higher and higher, right? We can definitely see that there's lower highs being made. So prices definitely wants to climb higher and higher, right? But now where we are, we're very tricky. We're at a tricky spot because there's this high and then there's this low right now, right? So price made this high, continue to drop to the downside, continue to climb and fail to break this high. So for me, when this high is not broken, I'll classify it as a strong high. Even this low got failed to be broken, so this is a strong low as well, right? So between this range over here, these are the two sides of liquidity that we could be looking at taking. So I'm gonna just put a dollar cash, so you know that this is where we're gonna be planning on taking liquidity. Right now, when we go to like the lower time frames, right, things start getting a bit interesting, right? So a lot of the things will make sense when you start watching like me break down the prop firm side of things, right? I'm showing you the risk management that I went for. So this is what happened. Gold dropped to the downside. So throughout the week, I was planning on counter trend trading this, right, to the downside. So my anticipation is that gold was gonna come back and fill out this zone over here before correcting like this, right? So this was the original entry, right, like this. Right, bingo bango, stop loss relatively over here. Entry was like 777 like this, right? Then stop loss, I put it at 110. Just like that, right? Take profit all the way to the downside. Eventually, like, this is a point where I'm planning on closing a few partials, right? Because I am down a pretty penny. So what I did was, there's something that I do called a hedge it, right? So for example, let's say maybe price is going against your favor. Let's say maybe it made a high, right? You're anticipating on buying it like at this level over here, but price comes in and you already know that it's gonna climb, but there's a lot of rejections, right? So what I do is I look, if there's maybe like a fair value gap you could come to, maybe I would sell price to the downside, right? So whatever profits I'm floating from the sell will just keep my account stagnant, right, until all the volatility and the stop loss hunts has been taken and it comes back to my favor. Then I just break even on the sell, right? So that's what I did for this situation over here with gold, right? If I could zoom in a bit, so this was my original entry. My stop loss was as originally as of here, right? But I saw that, okay, cool, I need to accommodate this fair value gap because I thought gold was just gonna continue to the downside, right? So it didn't do that. But what I can see is that it did fill out the last fair value gap. Let me show you. Bingo bango, like that, right? So the possibility of it coming back down or higher is possible, but for me, I think I put myself in a comfortable position to hold this trade, right? But it's in the weekend, guys. So what I did is I have my stop losses and my positions at break even. So if gold does decide to open and drop, it will break me even, right? And then my anticipation is to wait for it to show me more reason that it's going down, and then I'll possibly sell it off to the downside, right? Because this was more of a premature entry. I just held off because I thought gold was gonna react, right? So this is what I do anticipate. Obviously buys around this level again, right, to the top, right? Because with statistics, guys, gold is a pair that climbs higher and higher, right? So I don't see why selling it would make sense, right? And even if you're selling it, it should be short term, because one thing I'm noticing personally is that it's a pair that really is pushing to the upside more and more every single day, right? So that's what I do have for gold. Let's move over to the next pair. Alright, so this is EURUSD on the weekly time frame, right? As you can see, this guy is pretty bullish, right? And for me, the only reason why I love trading pairs like Euro USD or like any major pairs, if a pair is assigned with, like, for example, the base currency is the dollar or the code currencies the dollar, it makes it easier for you to understand where the market's gonna go. So now you need to figure out where the dollar's gonna go for you to understand where the euro's gonna go, right? So my anticipation is that yes, we're gonna get like a small pullback from the dollar before we start seeing climbs to the top. So we can imagine that with Euro USD for this guy, we can find ourselves dropping as far as that currency. As far as that, let me just show you guys the fib settings, because I know someone's gonna comment, right? This is what I have, right? This is the fib settings that I have, and also the indicators as well, right? Swing points and FEG is the one that I have. I highlighted the intermediate highs. You can just pause the video. And I also have MTF, multi time frame break of structure and market structure shift. You can come in over here, really select what you want. For me, I just have it like this, right? Simple stuff, nothing too crazy. And then bingo bango. So now we have a weekly market structure shift, so we know price is gonna come back, right? So now, if we know that price is gonna be trickling down over here, why not try and catch this move over here, right? So now this is why we're gonna go to like things like your daily time frame. Bingo bango. Right, on the daily time frame, what we can see is that, okay, cool, price is at its premium. Let me show you something again, right? This is what we call the Gantt box, from bottom all the way to the top like that. So now this is the equilibrium, right? This is the point where Euro USD can react off. But right now we see we got a daily market structure shift. We know that it's gonna start trickling to the downside, right? So our best bet is we wait for the entry, which looks like it's already ready, right? Bingo bango, right? We can even see we got a bullish engulfing candle, right? But one thing about like this pair or this indice and this Fibonacci is that price usually comes back and retests the same area twice. So if you never got in, you could come in with a sell limit like that, maybe take profit here, or you could go for the long-term swing, relatively holding into the downside to the middle, right? So, but understand, these types of trades are going to give you stress because it's going to be playing around like this. A correction takes longer to form, right? Rather than an impulse, right? So that's what we are seeing. So this is like more of a correction, impulse, another correction, impulse, another correction. Then it's probably going to play around this point and then drop to the downside, right? So that's what I do see for euro dollar. It's just making sure, guys, like I said, with currency pairs, one thing I've noticed personally, you always have to try and look at it from a wider perspective. You can't keep intraday trading these things because making money or the long-term game is in the swings. And any trader can tell you that. Of course, guys, there's scalpers who can go to the lower time frames, chop it up, make $1,000 if they need to, right? But like when you look at it from a long-term and a sustainable route, swing trading has more results, better yet for you to succeed, you know? And I feel like as a trader, you need to be good in both dimensions. You know, you need to know how to scalp and you also need to know how to hold trades long-term. But I've noticed that holding the trades is the what really tests your psychology as a trader, you know? So once you can build that ability of seeing price trickle in and out of your stop loss and like literally, if price could come to your TP and you can see it trickling relatively here, you have to have that patience to allow it to drop to your downside, right? Most traders don't have the patience, especially when price is doing this. So it's gonna test you, but that's where the real money is in swing trading, guys. Let's move over to the next pair. All right. So this is GBPJPY on the weekly time frame. This is the one that I just added, you know, bringing it back a bit. I'm trying to really push more of the currency pairs, more of the indices. If you guys watching these videos, right, please comment down like if you're watching this video, please comment down like what pairs you want me to go over as much as it is, guys, you know. Then we'll have like a base, let's say maybe gold. I know gold, you guys like it, so just give me a few that you want to like stay on the what is this, and then if your comment gets the most likes, then we know that that's actually the one that you want. So if someone comments your pair, just like their comment, so we already know that this is something you're in agreement to, right? So now on the weekly time frame, we can see price push all the way to the top, right? So we can relatively say this is the range that we're playing in. Bingo over here and bango over there, right? Now when we drop to the daily time frame, we start to see things a little bit more clearer, right? On the daily time frame, what we can see is that price has been pushing to the top, but it has been very corrective, right? So I brought this type of pair because it's not the most cleanest, right? But that's the main reason. We can't keep on cherry picking setups. I want to show you the real market, right? And see if you can get opportunities from there. And sometimes if you don't spot the opportunity that you want, stepping away as a trader is very important, right? So now, as we can see on the daily time frame, we got a market structure shift on the daily, right? This is the whole range. My anticipation is that it is going to drop to the downside relatively over as low as here, right? So as low as this point. But now it doesn't mean we can't trade it as it's trickling down. We can catch this move, guys, right? So now on the daily, obviously, now when you go to the 4-hour time frame, the intraday time frame, what we can see is that, okay, cool, price did break the market structure, right? And the only thing we're waiting for is for price to get to the 73, which it has already done. And what we're gonna drop with it to the downside like that. Stop loss maybe relatively above the high, TP over here. With these types of trades, guys, the main reason why I like them is because once you have a confirmed trend, right? Let me just show you this on the daily time frame. Sometimes, guys, it's not even about trading many pairs, right? If you can find one pair that has a long-term consistent trend, it's easy for you to make money off of it consistently. What do I mean by this, right? As you can see, this is GJ on the daily, right? Price is pushed up all the way to the top, making this high, and then this is the low. So we're currently playing within this range. I pulled the fib from bottom all the way to top, and it highlights the 73%. We know GBPJPY always retraces to the 73% mark. Now we want to catch this long-term trend to the downside. Now on the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, the fib was already highlighted a beautiful entry for us, as you can see, right? But now the only thing we need to wait for is for it to trickle down to these take profits, right? So what you can do is, as soon as price hits this zone, trade management is another important thing and a skill that a lot of traders underrate. Once price gets to this point, it's up to you whether you close partials, you move your stops to break even, depending on what's comfortable for you. For me, it's always partial taking. I look at it as price or the pair paying me commission for actually taking the trade. Irregardless of whether I win or lose, I know that I got my check and I'm gonna let it play out, right? Because once price starts pulling back, remember, you're trading a long-term trend. You're going to get so much more opportunities because you know the overall trend of a pair. Hence why I'm saying it doesn't make sense for you to have 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs on your watch list. Just check 2 or 3 that have a consistent trend and try to consistently milk it as it's on its way down or on its way up. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's what I do got for GBPJPY. Let's jump over to the prop firm so you can see where I am and how I'm managing my risk, because transparency is key, guys. I want you to see what's really happening so we can move forward as a team. All right. So this week we are left with the 25k and the 5k. We recently had that other 25k the last week, right? Remember, it had $19. Let me see breach, right? So you can look at it. So this one was the one that I lost, right? Last week, because the account was pretty small and I was trading gold. So you can check on this active ones, right? The P2 25k and the P2 5k, right? So we'll start with the 25k. So with this one, it was a pretty hectic week because we took that same trade, that gold trade that I was showing you, right? We'll go to the analytics. As you can see, we did go to the downside, pushed all the way to the top, and then this is what's happening. So you can see this is equity, this is balance. So this is floating profits, and this is how my balance is, right? So at this point, this is relatively where my balance is, and then I'm just in drawdown because I'm holding over the weekend, as you can see, right? So my anticipation is for it to come back all the way to the top. Maybe I'll break even, like I said, so price will probably come back over here, and I'll close out at like 24,450. So I'll probably need $1,500 to pass. That's like what, 25, 50, 75, 1,000, relatively 6% to pass the account, right? It sucks because there's a lot of forwards and backwards, but that's the reality, guys. That's what I'm trying to show you. But now, obviously, this does skew a lot of the risk reward ratios as well. So let me show you, right? Last week we were on 50%. This week it dropped to 36.36, right? We've won 0 shots. Remember what I said, guys. Whenever you're trading a long-term trend, it's easy for you to make money because you understand the overall direction. And as you can see, 46% of the only trades I've been taking are longs, essentially, right? 45%, 35%, 36% win rate. My best trade was $600. My gross loss is $2,000. My gross profit is 1.6, as you can see. Now let's jump over to the 5k, right? The 5k I've had it longer, right? Hopefully it just shows us, yes. So with the 5k account, as you can see, bingo bango, we are down relatively 3%ish, right? We'll go to the trading overview as well so we can look at the detailed stats on this guy. Right, so same situation, 37%, mainly because of the L that we're currently in right now. 0 shorts won. As you can see, I do not take any short trades. Gross profit $300. gross loss 342, right? Analytics, this one looks very different. As you can see, 5k pushed to the top, we were down, I managed to climb to the top, and then this is my balance. As you can see, equity went up, continued to go down, so I'm probably to come back and just break even on the trade that I have, see a better opportunity, try and push it to the top, pass it, let it go. So these two accounts, possibility of me passing them simultaneously is high. It's pretty there, like 30,000. For my South African guys, as you can see, like the road is 300k in funding, guys. Like that's the goal right now. Max allocation, of course. I feel like after these accounts, once I pass them, I think the next step is going for 50k or 100k, right? And at least I know from 50k 100k it's life-changing money. That's where things become a little bit better as a trader. But the main reason why I'm showing you guys, remember this is phase 2, so I went through 8% already, right, in active accounts. I'll show you the accounts as well, so you can see phase 1 8%, clean cut finish. I'll even show you my trading overview as well, so you can look at it, right? Analytics, as you can see, 25k dropped, passed it in one trade. Simple, clean cut finish, guys. One trade, as you can see. So it's like the phase 1 is the easiest one. Phase 2 is more so psychological more than anything else, guys. But I'm doing my best to manage the risk. Possibility of me getting stopped out is pretty high, especially with the weekend. But best bet, yes, I just fingers crossed that price just comes back to my entry. I break even, I look for a better entry. You know, CPI is on Tuesday. But that's all I got for this session, guys. It's road to 2,000. Thank you guys so much. I already know we're really gonna hit it. My chat is like really growing the channel as much as it is, and I really appreciate the guys who are watching till the end, right? Appreciate you really so much, brother. So I'm gonna keep it going. And before we know it, we're gonna be touching 10,000, right? But nonetheless, guys, it is another day, it is another dollar. I will catch you guys next week Sunday.